So I'm selling my Honda CB400F, built in 1975. The bike was purchased a couple of years ago, and I've done a light restoration on it to get it back to the state it's in now. Just gonna walk around the bike. Starting from front to back, I could just talk through some of the things that I've done to it. The original motor that was in the bike has been replaced with a CB350-4 motor in the 80s. I've since taken that out and replaced it with a 404 motor from a 1975 motorcycle. I still have the CB350-4 motor and the original numbers matching CB400-4 crankcase and cylinders. The original motor lost oil pressure, and the overhead cam just destroyed the original head. So anyway, I've replaced it with a little bit of a newer motor. Done a top end rebuild on it. Starting at the front, new tires. Clearly, have rebuilt the forward caliper. New brake lines in the front. The mudguard is stock. We've got new hand grips both sides. Those are Honda genuine parts. New grips both sides. Throttle cables have been replaced. The clutch cable's been replaced. The front brake system is pretty much all new from that point down. The odometer reads 20,094 in miles, but that's not a true representation, because for one, this is a Canadian bike and it should have kilometers per hour speedometer, and the motor in it has been replaced a couple times now. So just take that as with a grain of salt. Top end rebuild on the motorcycle. The carbs have been taken apart and been rebuilt. Got this thing tuned up so it's running good for our elevation. Got a new seat cover on it. The original exhaust pipes on it, the headers are original. The muffler is not stock. The stock ones are pretty expensive, and at this point I wasn't going to put a stock one on, but they're still available. They're around I think $500. You can get one if you wanted to bring this back into stock. But I think the muffler on it's got that, bell shape, and it's true to the era, I guess you could say. All new fuel lines, all new carburetor vent lines and drain lines. Got a new battery in it. New regulator. I've purchased a new regulator rectifier combo. It's a new thing now, but I haven't installed it yet. That was just because of a charging issue I found on the bike. We've narrowed it down to that point, my mechanic and I. The rear brake works great. It's a drum brake in the back, so new shoes in that. Sorry, new pads in the front as well. Didn't mention that. Suspension works all right. It's a 45-year-old system, so Going around this side, I've got a new chain on it. Chain guard's all there. That's for the passenger if you wanted to have a passenger on it. Center stand works good for any maintenance. Kickstand clearly. The linkage for the shifter linkage, that's all new. Well, I wouldn't say all new. There's a component of it that is original. That's stock. I guess you call it tie rod or turnbuckle section, and that section were replaced. I did some research, and I think what the gentleman who previously owned the bike, who put the CB350 motor in it, he changed out the foot pegs. The CB350 had a foot peg that was a little bit farther forward, more comfortable, so he changed those over. And when I purchased the bike, I went back to the stock CB400 foot pegs, which is a little bit farther aft, a little bit different riding style. You would go forward if you know, for more comfort, but so I've brought that back to factory. The paint I chose on the case of the engine, you can see there's a drip mark there. That's from the fuel. What happens is the fuel breaks down the paint. Now, at that point in the build, I wasn't too worried about it. That side cover is typically polished. Same with this. That's also typically polished. The housing for the generator. That is something, you know, that I would want to do if I was keeping the bike, but you know, life changes, and I'm looking to part with this. The fuel system, as I said, I've got all new fuel lines at the top end and the bottom end of the carbs. New air filter in there. Oil's been changed often. Things I would do to the bike if I was to keep it. Just answer some questions. First thing I would do is probably paint and epoxy coat the inside of the fuel tank and the side covers. I'd like to get those painted. That, you know, cosmetically from this far away, they're not terrible. And I like stock. I like to keep that stock looking. You've got some wear in the paint around here. I got a sticker on there, but coming into there's some scratches on the tank, and around there, you see that? That's a bunch of rust, just surface rust. No holes or anything like that. It's all solid. But that's something I would want to do. Now that I got the seat open, in addition to that, I'd want to get a tool tray. Something I don't have. I got a piece of rubber sitting on top of the fuel filter. It's part of the intake system. I just got a piece of rubber on there. The tool trays and the tool kits are available. Other things that I would want to do, clearly, would be get a newer muffler. The tail light assembly, all the lights work on it, but there's a crack in that lens. Small stuff like that bothers me, so that would be on the list to change. And then just touch up some of the cosmetic issues with the paint on the engine. That's pretty much it. You know, the bike runs and rides just fine. I love it, but it's just, I'm moving away from the city, and this was my city bike. So I'll start it up here. I rode it over here about 1 kilometer from the shop, from my garage, just to get a different area to show it instead of a gravel driveway. So turn it on, neutral light comes on, all the blinkers work. This is the engine's nice and cool. So I haven't. It's not a cold start, or sorry, it's not a hot start, it's a cold start. Let me know if you have any questions. High beam, low beam, blinkers both sides work, starter works, kickstart.